Over the span of my life, there have only been a handful of books that have impacted me in such a way to be labeled a 5-star book. And that's precisely what the books in this video represent. These aren't necessarily the best books or the most masterfully written books, but this is the list of books that has most impacted me in my life. My objective in this video is to summarize each of these 15 books in 15 seconds or less and give you an insight into why I rated each of them 5 stars. There, of course, will be spoilers in this video, but I'm going to leave a picture of the cover on the screen so you can scrub through and skip the spoilers that you don't want to see. So this is what my book list and note-taking system looks like. I got this from another YouTuber called August Bradley. I'm going to link to his video down in the description below. I made a couple alterations to better suit my needs, but the basic idea is that we have the books over here. I put a little thing in here to make it look nice, but these are my read books. I talk about the classification, what day I completed them. I also give them a rating and say whether I read it as a book or an audiobook. And when I'm actually going through and I'm reading a book, for example, Guns, Germs, and Steel, I will take notes based on the things that I find interesting in what I'm reading. A lot of the times when I'm actually taking these notes, I'll actually use the speech-to-text function on my phone so I can get down my ideas a little bit faster, or I'll snap a picture of an excerpt that I particularly like. But this kind of gives me a great resource to look back on and see what I thought about the different books that I've read. And without further ado, here are the 15 books that have earned a 5-star rating from me. So in no particular order, the first 5-star book in my list is Animal Farm by George Orwell. I found that George Orwell illustrating how human power structures work through animals left a greater imprint in my mind than any of my history classes did. Book number 2 is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is an incredibly simple finance book, and that's why I love it. It illustrates the points that it needs to in layman's terms and is incredibly easy to digest. Book number 3 is The Millionaire Next Door. This is actually the first personal finance book that I've ever read in my entire life. So because of that, I'm biased to actually like it more. But this book does a great job of drilling into your head the importance of becoming a prodigious accumulator of wealth no matter what your income level is. Book number 4 is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This is a book that I read in the 7th grade for a book report, and no book has touched me emotionally since like this book did. This book, plus going through puberty, just wrecked me. Book number 5 is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Incredibly cringy title, but this is a great user's manual on how to have great interactions with anyone that you meet. Book number 6 is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. This is the first habit change book that I ever read, and the habit loop blew my mind. If you can master the art of building habits, you can direct your life in any way that you want. Book number 7 and my number 1 book of all time is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book is very similar to The Power of Habit, but it focuses less on the business side of things and focuses more on the personal side of things. I also feel that James Clear did a better job of illustrating all of the constituents of the habit loop. Book number 8 is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is a beautiful allegory about this journey that we call life and all of the people that you're going to meet along the way. Book number 9 is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. This book does a great job of convincing you that the way to improvement is through struggle. Number 10 is Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari, who might be my favorite author of all time. The future is going to be really, really strange, and Yuval Noah Harari is a brilliant intellectual speaking about a topic that I am profoundly interested in. Highly, highly recommend this one. Book number 11 is Man's Search for Meaning, written by Viktor Frankl. So what initially drew me to this book is that it was the most recommended book in Tim Ferriss's Tribe of Mentors. So Tribe of Mentors is a bunch of world-class performers, and they recommend some of the books that they're most interested in. The most recommended book was this book. So keep in mind, I went into this book with that bias. The first half of this book is way better than the second half of this book and provides a pretty compelling answer to what is the meaning of life. Book number 12 is 1984, which is another George Orwell book. Just like in Animal Farm, this book provides great political commentary on the potential dangers of allowing our government to become too powerful. Number 13 is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This book is art. I think that this is the best written book that I have ever read. Me saying that is pretty meta considering the fact that in the book, one of the characters basically says that the only purpose of art is to be beautiful and nothing else. This book leaves you with a lot to chew on in regards to aesthetics in art and the world at large. Book number 14 is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, who is another contender for my favorite author of all time. In this book, he puts into perspective the exceptional people in our world and the reasons why they were able to achieve such exceptional things. Super interesting and fun book. It makes for a great conversation as well. And finally, book number 15 is The Giver by Lois Lowry. This book actually used to be my favorite book of all time. I love dystopias and I love plot twists, so I was bound to enjoy this book. This was my favorite book for a while. 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you're interested in the 5 most impactful books on my life, one of these books was not actually included in this video. The link to that is in the description box below. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next one.